Here I'm going to make some wax covers. I need some baking paper, some squares of fabric, a hot iron, you mustn't forget the iron, and some organic beeswax pellets. I use the white ones. I tend to think the yellow ones are harder to melt. So these are my hippie squares. You can have them any shape you want, but squares and rounds go better on covering things because dishes are either square or round. Now I am putting some beeswax pellets onto the cloth squares. May I just tell you that these cloth squares have been washed in my own make of washing detergent, so there's no chemicals in them or anything, because these are going to go on top of food to preserve the food instead of a scratchy old tin lid. So here I'm placing the baking paper on top of the wax pellets. This is so simple and easy, and literally all you do is you're going to iron them. So they will start to melt underneath, and I am, as you can see here, I'm really pressing them out. So as they melt, I'm pressing into the corners so all of the square will be covered. So these are going to be great for using to cover foods with. I don't like using jars where there's tin, metal, so I tend to prefer using these. They'll pop in your fridge, because when they're ready, they go, they don't go rock hard, they just go hard enough to be able to mold around your tin or your jar or your bowl, whatever you're going to use them for. So as you can see here, I am really pressing down, and when they've melted, I am pushing them to the corners of the fabric, so then it all gets covered. So you can sort of see through when it's all gone, when it's all covered, because you can see the wax pellets through the baking sheet. So I'm making sure that it's all nicely covered. I love doing these, and literally to wash them, just put them in some cold soapy water, and then you're really just washing them, and you're not, getting rid of anything else, any wax or anything, and then you just hang them to dry and they come up as new. They stay quite hard, and they're reusable as well, so they're absolutely great. And you can use any fabric. So I've got some Christmas fabric, so I'm going to use some Christmas ones. I'm going to cut out some Christmas squares, and I'm going to use them to cover tins with mince pies in. And over Christmas, if you open a jar of pickles or something, and then you can just pop one of the Christmas squares or rounds on top, and they look really decorative on your Christmas table as well, rather than a horrible old jar lid. So there we go, all covered. It started to go hard already. So I'm going to hang them up together so they can dry. Literally, there they all are drying. Well, just one yet. I'm going to do a few more. They don't take long to dry at all. That'll be dry within 5 minutes. So here I'm going to make some smaller ones. So I'm just going to fold my fabric here. Again, you can do them any shape, any size. You can use serrated edges of scissors, so you've got a nice, like a different circle shape. That was the wrong way around. I'm going to make them a bit bigger, so I'm going to just give myself a little template there, and I'm going to make some round ones. Again, they don't have to be exact. You don't have to have a perfect round circle, because when they are covered over the jar or the bowl, you are not going to be able to tell if one side is a couple of millimeters out. And sometimes they look better a bit rugged, don't you think? You can do some different ones for different seasons. You can do some floral ones for the summer to cover your salad bowls and your coleslaw, things like that. These are just my hippie ones. Like I said, these are useful for anything. So I did put a piece of baking paper underneath as well. It did work with just one on top, just the same, but I was getting wax on my table. So I've put a baking sheet underneath and I'm going to pop the beeswax pellets on there. You don't have to be precise. That's about the right amount, I'd say, because when they melt, they do spread out. So all that should cover the whole of the circle. So I'm just spreading them around a bit and putting the baking sheet right on top here. And there we go. Let's give them a good melt. And at the end, I will press them into all the outline of the circle just to make sure that they are covered. They're also great to take away with you when you're on holiday, because sometimes you open something and you lose the lid, or you just want an easy, something to look pretty on your barbecue table or your picnic table. So all you need is an elastic band or a little ribbon at the end just to tie them on. I think it's a look of them. They just look so cute. So there were my circle ones. I've hung them up to dry there with my squares. So I'm now going to do another one. You're probably bored of me doing these now, but oh no, this one, yes, this is done. So look how it's not rock hard, it's just right. I've covered that. This is a bit too big for this job, but I'm just showing you what I mean. I've just popped elastic band around there. It actually looks like Joseph, don't you think, of Mary and Joseph, or one of the shepherds? You can't see his face or his body, but it actually looks like the hat of Mary and Joseph. So I'm going to put a little piece of a tie on here to make it look extra cute. There we are. We've given it a face. It really does look like him now. So there you go. Here's a little one. That's better. That fits a bit better on that one. But all shapes and sizes, all cuts and colours. You can do literally anything you want, but aren't they cute?